All right, Shalom Akim, Shalom Yasharallah. First off, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash, and I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us His truth to rule well. All right, I'm just gonna be going into Babylon, Babylon the Great. All right, which is America. So this is where the eyes are at right now. Because prophecy is going to be fulfilled really throughout the four corners of the earth, as it is written. But this is one of the major prophecies that people have to be looking towards and believe, because it's one thing to say, I think Babylon is America. And it's one thing to believe, because if you believe that this Babylon the Great is America, then you're going to try and come out of her. All right, you're going to try and go after the ways of righteousness, after the ways of the Most High, go after the heart of the Most High, But this is Proverbs 5:1. My son, attend unto my wisdom. All right, and whose wisdom is it? Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, and bow thine ear unto my understanding. All right, this is Proverbs 4:7. It says, wisdom is the principal thing. All right. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. You see? So we have to get wisdom and understanding. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. You see? And the only way we get that is by fearing Yahweh, the Most High. All right. And when you begin to fear Yahweh, you begin to fear as a righteous man. And that's how that's the beginning. The fear of the Most High is the beginning of wisdom. All right. It says, thou that mayest regard discretion, and that thy lips may keep knowledge. You see, so we're supposed to keep the knowledge of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, which is what? The scriptures. All right. The scriptures. All right. Let me get John. I'll be back to this one. Let me just get John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word. All right. And we know that Yahweh Shai was the Word. All right. So if wisdom was from the beginning, or Yahweh Shai was from the beginning, then what's more intelligent than that? There's a saying in Spanish, and it's kind of off. Depends on how you want to look at it. But it says, el diablo no es diablo por ser diablo. Okay. Which means the devil is not the devil, by being the devil. All right. But really, what it's saying is that the devil is the devil because of how long he's been here. Like says in the scriptures, gray hairs is the wisdom of wisdom is the gray hairs of men. So you look at a man with gray hairs and you might think that he has, some type of intelligence from what he went through in his life. All right. But really, it's wisdom that is the gray hairs of men. So, you could be, a 30-something-year-old and have so much more knowledge than, a 60-year-old and a 20-year-old and a 25-year-old, So really, wisdom is the gray hairs of men. That's what shows forth, all right, how much how much more advanced you are. So John 1:1, it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with the Most High, and the Word was a power. The same was in the beginning with the Most High. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. All right. So when Yahweh Shai was here, nobody, the people that were left in darkness, they didn't understand Yahweh Shai. Only the ones that were in light understood Yahushai. And that applies even unto date, you know? So in the book of Baruch, which actually I have my sword right here. Let's see if I can get that. In the book of Baruch, it tells you, all right, that Yahushai, it's of a future prophecy that Yahushua was going to come down and speak with men, all right, which Yahushua spoke through men, and he also literally came down and spoke with men. All right, let me see if I can get it. So like I'm trying to do with one hand. This is Baruch chapter 4. All right, and verse, let me see. Baruch 3, Salakia, and verse 35. This is our power, and there shall none other be accounted of in comparison. He hath found out all the ways of knowledge, and hath given it unto Jacob, his servant. All right, and then if you read Romans 9, it tells you that the promise that was supposed to come out of Jacob was also the Messiah, which is Yahushai. All right, so all this stuff was given to Jacob, i.e. also Yahushai, and to Israel his beloved, all right, and to his elect. It says, afterward did he show himself upon earth and conversed with men. You see, so Yahushai was wisdom, the epitome of wisdom. So when he came down, all right, he conversed with men, So it says here in Proverbs 5 and verse 2, that thou mayest regard discretion and that thy lips may keep knowledge. All right, so we're supposed to keep knowledge, and knowledge is what? Hebrews chapter 10 and 7. And lo, I come in a volume of a book. It is written of me to do thy will, O God. All right, and that's Yahushai. He comes in a volume of a book. So for us, we're supposed to keep the sayings of Yahushai and the sayings of the Most High, all right, because Yahushai comes in a volume of a book. That is wisdom. All right, so that should be the first thing that we do. Keep the wisdom, knowledge, understanding of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and forsake it not. All right. So here, verse 3, it says, for the lips of a strange woman drop as in honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil. All right, so let me get this one first. Oh, man, I wanted to get that one too. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 10. Let me get this one too. All right, was it this? It was, nope. It was this one. All right, it says, I'll get that one afterward. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 and verse 1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. All right, and we know that the kingdom of heaven is going to be perfect. All right, why? Because a prudent man, a well-ordered man, all right, a righteous man is going to be ruling it, which is who? Yahushai and the 144 elect men. All right, and it's going to be ruling under the name of Yahweh, which is the name of the Most High. So it's going to be well ordered. It says, as the judge of the people is himself. So we're going to be living righteous because Yahushai is righteous and because the Most High is righteous. So are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. You see? So the land is basically like its people. All right? It says, an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority the city shall be inhabited. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, the Most High, and in due time he will set it over. He will set over it one that is profitable. All right. So right now it is not that time for Yahushai to rule over the earth. It's not that time yet, because the wickedness of the Edomites hasn't been fulfilled yet. All right. And that's all we're waiting for, the wickedness to be fulfilled. And then Yahweh Shai will come back. All right. But this is talking about how the kingdom is, so are the people, so is the land. All right. So if a kingdom is wicked, so will the people be. So this is Proverbs 5:3. For the lips of a strange woman drop as a honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil. All right. So let me get Psalms 55, I believe it was. Let me see. Destroy the night, wickedness, should cancel together, walk to hell. It's gonna be down here, but let me read. My God and my acquaintance, we took sweet counsel together and walked into the house of the Most High in company. Death seize upon them, and let them go down quickly into hell, for wickedness is among them. Yeah, this is a good one right here in verse 15. Psalms 55:15, it says, let death seize upon them, and let them go down quick into hell. All right, for wickedness is in their dwellings and among them. All right, because the wicked rulers. All right, when you go here in the word hell, it's sha'awal, which is not the underworld, but the grave. All right, let's look that up. A place of burial for the dead body. Typical, a hole dug in the ground and marked by a stone or mound. The coffin was lowered into the grave. You see, so that's really what it is. Grave, hell. All right. It's actually talking about the grave. Hell, the pit. You see. It says Sheol. All right, which is the Old Testament designation for the abode of the dead, which is what? The grave. All right. Where do you put dead people? All right. Dead people, you bury them in the grave. All right. You put them in the pit. All right. So, you see, it's not talking about underground world that lives where people carry around chains and, all this stuff, which people do believe in. All right. I didn't think that they did, but, I spoke to this Christian the other day, and he was saying that he was watching a video and, that this man went to the bottom of the sea, to the deepest part, and all he could hear was just like moanings and groanings and chains being shackled together, and he got scared and he never went back. All right, that's a bunch of BS. There is no people walking around in Hades, all right, which is what they call it in the Greek, which also means the ground. All right, a burial place, but people try to make something extraordinary out of it. All right. But anyways, going back to this, the reason why I brought that up is it's going to bring hell up again later. It says, for wickedness is in their dwellings and among them. As for me, all right, for the righteous, I will call upon Yahweh, and Yahweh shall save me. Evening and morning and at noon will I pray and cry aloud, and he shall hear my voice. All right. So that's what we ought to do. If you're righteous, you're going to call on Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. He had delivered my soul in peace from the battle that was against me, for there were many with me. All right. Those are the elect. It says, the Most High shall hear and afflict them, even he that abideth of old, Salah, because they have no changes. Therefore they fear not the Most High. You see? So they think because, they think because, they're doing all this wickedness, and it's not coming upon them right now, they think that the Most High is with them, when in reality he's not. All right. He hath put his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart, and that's Esau, Edom. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. All right, so he might have tried to be at peace with people, but really he hates them. He wants to go to war with them. All right. Cast thy burdens upon Yahweh, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. All right. The righteous men are not going to be moved out of his hand. All right. The elect are in his hand. Wherever they may be in this world, even if some of them might be in the world right now, they're not in the truth, they're still in the hand of Yahweh. The Most High controls everything. All right. And he gave everything unto Yahweh Shai. It says, but thou, O power, shall bring them down into the pit of destruction. Salakim. Into the pit of destruction, a well, spring. All right. From 874, a pit, especially a well. All right. It says, from a fountain, surface on the ground. Well, basically bring them down to the ground. All right. Bring them down to the ground. Humble them. It says pit of destruction. That word destruction means pit, destruction, and grave. Shachaf. All right. Pit of hell. So what? He's going to, put them in hell and then bring them down to hell to go to hell? All right. That doesn't make any sense. So you have to read it. You can't just read things verbatim. You have to go into the old words. So destruction is the pit. All right. He's going to bring them down to the ground and down to the pit. All right. Bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half their days, but I will trust in thee. All right. So that's who we're supposed to be trusting, But check how it said that the ruler of this of that world, all right, his words were smoother than butter and softer than oil. All right, which is what we read in Proverbs 5 and verse 3. For the lips of a strange woman drop as a honeycomb. That means they're sweet words, It says, and her mouth is smoother than oil. You see? So you look at this strange woman, and she might be speaking sweet things, and, she might have some big lips, and she has that oil on her lips. All right? So the whole time you're being seduced, all right, by these evil spirits. And Babylon the Great is an evil spirit, spiritual Egypt. All right? And it's wicked. You see? So let me go to Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 23. It says, for the commandment is a lamp, and the law is a light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. You see? So Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, Yahweh Shai the Messiah, all right, his ways are the ways of light, and the darkness understood it not. You see? Why didn't it understand it? Because they're complete opposites. All right? So the commandment is a lamp, you see, and the law is light. So Yahweh Shai came in a form of a lamp, in a form of a law. You see? He is the book. So that also proves that he is that wisdom, knowledge, understanding. And reproofs of instruction are the way of life, to keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. All right. So this strange woman is going to be speaking blasphemies. All right. Because she's evil. She's going to be speaking blasphemies. All right. Against the Most High. And it's going to sound so smooth, man. It's going to sound convincing. and it convinced a lot of us. All right, but the Most High had us the whole time, so He made us come out of that. So the ways of life here in America, this is that whore, this is that woman. All right, that evil woman. It says, "Lust not after her beauty in thine heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids." All right, so don't go after, oh man, I have a good life here in America. Don't go after her philosophies and the ways that she gets people to look at her. Because how do you look at people? Through your eyes, man. So if you see somebody looking at you real nice, you're going to be staring at their eyes, man. All right? It caught your attention. You locked eyes, you see? And you don't want to lock eyes with in lust after America, all right? After that great whore, you see? So this says, "For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. Can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burnt?" All right, so if you go after the ways of this woman in particular, all right, this really applies to many women, or all women, but this also applies to America. All right, that great whore. It says, "Can one go upon hot coals and his feet not burn?" All right, so are you going to be able to go after America and go after the ways of life here in America and not be burned by the ICBM missiles? Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is letting you know, come out of her. You're locked into her ways, man. And that's what our people need to get out. So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the true biblical Hebrew Israelites. All right, we need to come out of the way of thinking that we think for here in America. Oh, it's okay for the woman to be in charge, Women want to be, the caretakers now, and the men, they want the men to be stay-at-home dads. That's off, man. All right? That's just that's just off, man. It says that's it on that. But this woman, all right, you go after the ways of this whorish woman, you get locked into her ways, and guess what? You're going to get burnt. All right? She's going to burn you out. And it's funny because, Jake will make those references, she burnt you, basically meaning, you went after her and she got what she wanted out of you, and then she just dumped your ass, so she burnt you, and that's what America is doing to a lot of our people, man. That's why Hosea chapter 4, which actually, let me get that one. All right, Hosea chapter 4. Goddamn, this useless technology. Chapter 4 and verse 6, it says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge." All right, so knowledge is to know. People don't know that America is Babylon. Yeah, they might speculate. They might say, oh, okay, well, I feel like it might possibly be. But what are they doing? All right, if you know that this place is Babylon, you're not going to be walking around, going to Target, buying a bunch of bullshit, going home and watching nothing but movies and just continue your life like nothing. When you know that this place is Babylon, you're going to be like, yo, what can I do to get saved? All right, so my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge because they don't know. All right, because thou hast rejected knowledge, because they heard the prophets, I will reject thee. All right, I will also reject thee. So the Most High is going to reject you if you don't hearken unto these words, man. It ain't a game. All right, that thou should be no priest to me. So you're not going to be a priest to the Most High. And guess what? We are nations of priests. All right. So what are you going to be? A heap of ash, man. You're going to come back through the seed of the elect, but it isn't going to be to no glory. All right. It's kind of like when a party starts and you go to sleep before it starts, and then you wake up and everybody's already gone, and you walk outside and the place looks desolate, and you're like, damn, where's the party at, man? You missed it. All right, you missed the crowning of the kings. You missed the crowning of the elect. You know, you missed it. You were a heap of ash, man. You were asleep. You didn't want to wake up. We tried to wake you up, and you didn't want to wake up. You know, so afterward, you kind of feel bad. You're like, well, fuck, man. I could have had fun. You know, and that's how the 2/3 are gonna be, man. They could have had it, but they didn't. They didn't have it. The Most High didn't give it to them. You know. Lord willing, I'm part of that number. Lord willing, the brothers are part of that number. You know, but that's what we're fighting for, man. All right. Those are good indicators because that's what we're fighting for. All right. It says, I will also forget thy children. So the Most High is not even going to save you or your children. And as they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore, I will change their glory into shame. You see? So that glory that you think you had in this world, guess what? Is going to be changed into shame, man, for you 2/3 of Israel. You know? So going back to Salakia, Revelations 17. God damn this fucking thing, man. Revelation 17, and I'm going to start off with verse 1. It says, And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. All right, and what does Proverbs, Salakia, Judges chapter 5, verse 11 say? In the land of drawing waters, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Most High Yahweh. All right. So in the land of drawing water, that's here, man. All right. Because this great whore sits on many waters. You see? It says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication. All right. So everybody used and abused her. Why do you think Donald Trump right now is trying to break away all ties, all right, with all the pimps? It says, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Everybody looks at America like, damn, man, that's a great place to go. I want to go to America and just live my life there and see how free they are and this and that. But why do you think the elites, all right, the whites, they're not coming over here? Because they know this place is shit. It's going to shit, you know? They're jumping board when they see the Titanic sinking, man. It says, so he carried me away in the spirit in the wilderness, and I saw a woman set upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having the 7 heads and 10 horns. And a woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. All right, so don't be, you look at a hoe, all right, you look at a good, decent woman with a sundress and a head wrap, and you might like her and you might want to be with her, but you're not lusting heavily after her, like you would if you see this hoe or this whore, all right, that's wearing these, all right, has these thick thighs and these little shorts, or, she's showing off basically everything she's got. And you're looking after her and you're like, damn, I don't want that, but that doesn't look bad. All right. And that's how Babylon the Great is. These elites don't want it, but it doesn't look bad, man. And that's why the merchants of the earth, they're being made rich off of her. It says, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints. All right. And with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua Mashiach. All right. So to be a martyr means to be a follower of Yahushua and possibly put to death. All right. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. You see, so the Apostle Paul was looking at her like, damn, who is this? Not saying he was lusting after her. Could have been, I know he didn't see, actually America. He wouldn't be talking like that. It's all symbolic of who mystery. That's why it says Mystery Babylon the Great. All right, because Apostle Paul, John the Revelator, Salakia, John the Revelator saw a woman. All right, he was actually seeing these images, man. But it says, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs. All right, it says a witness in a legal sense, in historical sense, in an ethical sense, those who after his example have proved the strength and genuineness of their faith in Mashiach by undergoing a violent death. You see? So you have to be going under a faithful, violent death. You know, and that word faithfulness goes back to the word what was it? Perfect. All right, let patience, it's actually patience, not perfect. Let patience have her perfect works. You know, and that word patience there goes back to the word faithful. You know, which Lord willing, I'll make a video about that. All right, but the martyrs of Yahweh Shai are going to be found in this woman. All right. Now, this place is already filled with blood of the saints. Why? Because slavery was so deep, and the death of many, many, many so-called Negroes, many, many, many so-called Latinos and Native Americans is here in Babylon the Great. You know, because Babylon, you know, America doesn't give a shit about you, man. You know? So Babylon doesn't give a shit about itself. You know, it's a whore. You know, he's just going to do what it can do to get that money, you know, and fuck everything else. All right. So from there, let me go back to the book of Proverbs. And I think I was going to go back. Let me see. Let me go back to Proverbs 5 and 3. It says, for the lips of a strange woman drop as a honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil. All right. So with her perverse ways, you know, there's a part where it says that great red dragon casted out water out of his mouth to, what's it called, to basically subdue the woman and her child, you know, and after the seed of the woman, all right. But the earth helped it, you know, and that's talking about the dragon Esau Edom's philosophies, you know, his ways of life that are contrary to scripture, you know, and those philosophies. Hey, that was the spirit that brother posted up, you know, about Jezebel. But, you know, yeah, the philosophies of Esau Edom, you know, and our people are being taken away slowly by philosophies, by these ways of life, you know, these things that are contrary to doctrine, sound doctrine. All right. So what's the end to that woman? Well, here in verse 4 it says, but her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. All right. As wormwood and sharp as a two-edged sword. You know. So this is Revelations chapter 8, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. 8. Yep. So let me start off at verse 1. It says, and when he had opened the seventh seal, there was a silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. And I saw the 7 angels which stood before the Most High, Yahweh, and to them were given 7 trumpets. And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer, and there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with prayers of all saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. And the smoke of incense, which came with the prayers of the saints, ascended up before the Most High out of the angel's hand. And the angel took the censer and filled it with fire on the altar and cast it into the earth. And there were voices and thunderings and lightnings and an earthquake. And the 7 angels which had the 7 trumpets, prepared themselves to sound. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood. And there were cast upon the earth, and the third part of the trees were burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up. And the second angel sounded, and it was a great mountain burning with fire, was cast into the sea. And the third part of the sea became blood. And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died. And the third part of the ships were destroyed. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers, and upon the fountain of the waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many died of the waters because they were made bitter. All right. So her end is bitter as wormwood. Why? Because wormwood is describing the ICBM missiles. All right. That's the end of everything. That's how everything is sealed, man. Those ICBM missiles in World War III, after the Jacob's Trouble, which that's still part of Jacob's Trouble, but after the RFID chip has been implemented, the last step is that war, man. And then after that war, we're going to be taken up. And then these other nations are going to try and fight against Yahweh Shai. They're going to try and fight against Yahweh. But her bitter end is wormwood, man. That destruction through the ICBM missiles. And that's the end of a whore, man. Death, destruction. So from there, let me go back to Proverbs. Proverbs 5 and verse 4. But her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Now Yahweh Shai, all right, his he's like a two-edged sword, because of the words that he speaks. And that's when I wanted to bring this one in. All right, it says the word tongue is found 50 times in the Bible. Let me see. No. There was another one. Man, there was another one. This right here was a different saying. I wanted to find that saying. I don't know where it is. But let me get this one. It says, Edward Bilward Leiden. It says, who said the tongue is mightier than the sword? It says, in 1839, English author Edward Buller coined the phrase, the pen is mightier than the sword. All right, so how do you make letters? With a pen. All right, how do we do it? Through these, what's it called? E-letters, electronic letters. It says, the Shofez Shaim suggests it's better understood as the tongue is at least as hurtful as the sword. All right, which the tongue is hurtful, man. And that's what this should have been. Let me see if I can. No, but it says the tongue can be like a two-edged sword when words are hurtful, degrading, dishonest, or slanderous. A two-edged sword cuts both ways, and the swordsmen of Bible times kept them very sharp. All right, so we're supposed to keep our swords very sharp, man. So that two-edged sword is this word that's going out. It's cutting this kingdom down, man. So it says her feet go down to death, her steps take a hold on hell, lest thou shouldest ponder the path of life. All right. So for fear that you ponder the ways of life, her ways are immovable, are movable, that thou canst not know them. So we need to keep going after righteousness, man. Don't move to the left or to the right. All right. But stay away from this wicked place, from this evil place. So Let me go to Revelations 20 and let me start off at verse 12. It says, Revelations 20 and 12, and I saw the dead, small and great, standing before the Most High, and the books were opened. All right, and that's another prophecy that's going to come to pass. And another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works. All right, so you see, if you have good faith, all right, if you have faith, you're going to have works. If you have doubt in Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, you're also going to have works, but on the left-hand side. Everybody has works, man. Everybody has works, you know, but some are righteous and some are not, you know. It says, and the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. So what does that mean? Does that mean that, you know, this underworld where supposedly, you know, the devil lives, he's going to be like, all right, you guys are free to go. All right, you guys have, you know, 30 minutes, you know, be back before those 30 minutes. No, man, you know, there is no time period. It's talking about death and hell are one, death, which comes to everyone, and hell can be a condition, and it can also be the ground, the pit, like we read earlier, you know. But here it's what is it called? I don't know if it is called Hades. It might be something else, but it means the same thing. Oh, Salakia. See, give up the dead, hell. Yep, it is Hades. Strong's G86, you know, and here it gives you this explanation. But here it says, in biblical Greek, it is associated with Orcus, the infernal regions, a dark and dismissal place in the very depths of the earth. The uncommon acceptable of a disembodied spirit. Usually Hades is just abode of the wicked. It's not just the abode of the wicked, it's the abode of righteous men too. You know, we've all been put in the grave, man. You know? So right here it says hell and grave. All right. Let me see. I remember there was one that when you would look it up, it would give you an explanation and take you back to the valley of Gehenna, you know, which is commonly used. And also what is that called? I can't remember. You know, but down here it says later used of this word, the grave, death, and hell. You know, so this really is talking about the grave, death, hell, you know, because the Old Testament or the New Testament, you know, wasn't originally written in Greek. You know, it was translated from Hebrew to Greek. All right. So death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. You know, so how is death and hell going to be cast into, you know, this eternal hell? That doesn't make sense. This is the second death. All right. So what is the first death? The first death is by water. You know, when the underground rivers, tunnels, you know, they have water underground. There's water underground. Why do you think people dig? All right. Why do you think people dig out in even deserts? They dig on the ground, on the earth, you know, until they hit the ground and then water starts springing up, man. Why do you think that happens? If we're made out of just, you know, molten hot lava and hotter lava and even hotter lava and then a core of lava, you know, a molten core, you know, there's water down there, man. All right. there's water down there, and it tells you in the book of Genesis how those springs, underground springs, they bursted out through the ground, and that's also what helped the flood. It wasn't just the rain. People are like, oh, it rained so hard that it flooded the earth. No, there were springs under earth, man, and there are springs under earth, and that's how those springs came out onto the top of the earth, and that's what helped the earth flood. Oh, there's no traces of that water. Well, where would that water go? Back under earth, man. But the secrets are only reserved unto the saints, not for everybody. All right, but death and hell were casted into the lake of fire. So there's going to be no more death in the kingdom for Israel, and there's going to be no more hellish conditions. We're not going to go through hell anymore, man. All of that is going to be tossed into the lake of fire, which is what? The ICBM missiles. All right, and that is the second death, being destroyed by those fucking missiles, man. And people want to laugh at it. People want to scoff at it, mock, and be like, oh, we're going to be destroyed by missiles. Yeah, motherfucker, you are going to be destroyed by missiles, man. When those missiles come, man, it ain't no joke. People are going to see blackness, all right? Their eyesight is going to turn into darkness, man. They're going to be ashamed. You see? It says, and whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. So guess what? If you're contrary to the ways of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and you want to go after this beautiful whore, then you go right ahead and go after that whore, man. What is it going to get you? Death and destruction, So before I get this one, let me go back to Proverbs 5 and... It says, and her feet, strange lips, steps in earth, steps in hell, lest thou shouldest ponder the life away. Hear me now, therefore. This is Proverbs 5 and 7. Hear me now, therefore, O ye children, and depart not from the words of my mouth. All right. Men shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that departed out of the mouth of the Most High. All right. That's what we should be living by this word, this truth, this knowledge, this Bible. All right. These books. It says, remove thy way far from her, and come not nigh the door of her house. You see, so don't go into her, man. Just don't go into her ways. So let me end it with this one right here, Revelations 20 and verse 14. Salakia, Revelations 18 and verse 4, it says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, that ye receive not of her plagues. You see, so the elect are not going to be going after the ways of this whore, man. The elect are going to be going after the ways of the Most High, and guess what? The Most High is going to save them. All right? For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities. All right? So if you go after the ways of this beautiful whore, America, all right, which is beautiful in her own way, but still unrighteous, and we shouldn't be going after her. It says, reward her even as she rewarded you. Why? Because of the slavery, because of the hard bondage, all right, because of the killings. It says, and double unto her according to her works. So guess what? They're going to do double unto her, man. So as she treated you, you're going to treat her double time. In the cup which she has filled, fill to her double. All right. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit as a queen and am no widow and shall not sorrow. Same thing you read in Isaiah 47. All right. Which actually, let me get that. That'll be beautiful to end it with. Isaiah 47. And I believe it was 6, if I'm not mistaken. Nope. Letter N. Oh, 8. It says, therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, same thing we read, that dwellest carelessly, same thing we read, that sayest in thy heart, I am, and none else is beside me. Same thing we read, man. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. And that's the same thing she said. So obviously this is talking about Babylon the Great. Because when you go to verse 1, it says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. All right. Why? Because you're going to be made desolate, you know? So verse 9 it says, but these two things shall come upon to thee. All right. These two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day. One day these things are going to happen, man. The loss of children and widowhood. You know, you're going to be made desolate. You're not going to have children anymore. You're going to be desolate. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. All right, because you deceived all nations. You know, you deceived all of our people, man. So double unto you according to your works. So with that, Akim, I hope that was edifying. You know, come out of her, my people. All right. Don't go after the ways of Babylon the Great. You know, I know it's seducing. They're seducing spirits, man. They're seducing spirits. Don't listen to them. All right. And just keep treading on the way. Keep going on the way of Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai. So with that, I want to give honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakak Wadash, and double honors to our apostles and our elders of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth to rule well. Shalom, Akim. Stay strong out there, and don't forget who your enemy is, man. Shalom.